Welcome back to another one of my YouTube videos where I share with you just how I grew orchids in Jamaica. I have not been posting for a while and I have a lot of competing priorities that are really keeping me away from posting. I actually was on a little vacation just quite recently. I came home, and when I came home and saw my garden, man, I just could not believe it. It is a real mess. So I decided that I'm going to be sharing it with you so that you can be on the journey with me when I am rehabilitating it. And so if you want to see what's happening in the garden, why don't you just stick around? So I got up this morning saying that I'm going to be watering. Well, I am still going to be watering, but Lord, I tell you, it is just such a mess that I am confused in terms of where I'm going to really start. I need to get my nipper because of course I'm going to have to start trimming all of these spent blooms, clean out all of these leaves that are not supposed to be there, and restake some of the plants. This section is actually my faithful section. It is still faithful, but not as faithful as it used to be. And that is so because I have not been giving it a lot of keep and care that is required. And so it still has some beautiful blooms. However, it's not as bountiful as it usually is. So let me show you. I clean out the weeds recently, maybe around 3-4 weeks ago, and of course my infamous almond tree is actually shedding its leaves now, and so you're going to be seeing here where a lot of leaves are there in this bed. And so this is what this section looks like right now, but nevertheless some beautiful blooms are here. Got this one. This is actually my Kagawara boon rub. So the boon rub is always a faithful bloomer and it is gorgeous. It needs to be cut back right now because as you notice the bottom of it is getting a little lengthy. So I'm going to cut it back and repot it. So that's what is happening here, this side of the garden, my faithful bed. So my faithful bed doesn't look as faithful as it once was, but I'm going to be working on it, and of course you will join me as I do the rehabilitation in this area. So this other area, look at this. Oh dear. This is actually toppled over. I'm not sure what causes that, but it's actually on its side, and definitely I'm gonna have to pull this up and fix it. So I'm not sure if it's the dog or what causes it, but it's on its side. So I'm really not sure what happened here, but this one has been toppled over. Since it is toppled over, let me just take off the weeds because it's difficult to reach around to the back. Oh Lord. Whew. Ouch. Not sure what's happening here, but much. Wow, look at this. Oh. Quite a bit of work that I'm gonna have to do in this garden in the next few days. But that is how it is. Your garden needs maintenance. Everything that you knew, you have to really maintain. Right here, I've been trying to sort out the few epidendrum orchids that I have left. I don't have a lot left because I've lost quite a bit of them. But the few that I have, they are in this area. Not looking too badly, but this area also needs some well-needed cleaning. Ah, look again. All toppled over. All toppled over. But I will be working on it. Where I had my Vanda tower. So my Vanda tower is no longer a Vanda tower because what I did, I removed all the Vandas from it. This area tends to get a lot of sunlight and I don't have the time, especially nowadays, to give it the kind of watering and keep and care that is required. And so I removed all the Vandas. I'm actually placing on it a number of bromeliads to make it in actually a bromeliad tower, while I also incorporate a few other plants like the Jamaica fire and so forth right here, because these will manage a little less watering than the Vandas that I had here. And so this is what is happening with the tower right here. And of course, I'm incorporating in this area a number of bromeliads, making it into a nice little oasis right here. So that's what is happening in this little area. Let's move on. This other area, the Vandas are not looking too bad right here. They just need to be blooming. And of course, they need some keep and care because some of those that are spent, I need to be cutting them back and so forth. But in terms of looking healthy, they are looking fairly healthy. And I do have one or two of them actually in bloom. At this one here. Yeah, I like that one. And this one, I tell you, the mother plant actually suffered from crown rot. Right here. It actually suffered from crown rot, and then it sent out this and this other one. So I now end up with two of them right there. So sometimes, even though we don't want crown rot and these things, sometimes it's a little blessing in disguise. So that's this area. And of course, the bromeliads are incorporated in it. And this is what I did with this area. Trying to use this brightly colored bromeliad to form a sort of barrier to give it a little pop. So we're going to move to the area behind it and show you exactly why I'm not happy with what I'm seeing in the garden. So, weeds. And you see how huge this is? So I'm gonna have to dig that out from the root, believe me. A lot of spent blooms, but at least they are respiking. So in a little while, I'll be having a few more flowers right here. I don't know if you can see around the back there, but let me see if I can get closer to the back. Weeds, 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 and lots of weeds. And outside of the weeds, I am realizing too that the ferns are actually taking over. So I have to be thinning the ferns. What I may do because one of the visits I went on while I was on my vacation, I realized that they really incorporate a lot of other plants within their orchid beds, but it is done in an organized manner. So this area, though not a lot of blooms as we're accustomed to having, the plants are not looking bad, but Lord, weeds would have killed me. Look, weeds, 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 and more weeds. And so I really have a lot of work cut out for me to bring back my garden to its former glory. So let us move on from this area. Right here, I actually had some dendrobiums in these huge pots, but I removed them and now I have bromeliads. So in order to contain the bromeliads, I decided to put them in pots because they grow very fast and they will take over the whole place, and I really don't have a big yard space, and so this is what I have to do to contain them. I think I really going to need some help to clean up this place, believe me. But I'm gonna see what I can do on my own. Still have a few more days home, and so I'm gonna use those days to see what I can do to actually bring back my garden to its former glory. So this area is along my walkway right there. Let me show it from another angle because the lighting is so poor from this side. Good. So this area is the area along my walkway, and when you want to see weed, come here. So what I had done, I had taken out most of the plants from here and actually placed them on blocks just to help to control them, and place them also into large clay pots to sort of enhance this area. But boy, the maintenance is just more than me right now, and the weed has taken it over again. So it's quite a bit of work right here to get done. So this was one of the most recent Vanda bed that I did. It's doing pretty well because it's actually under 2 palm trees and it likes the semi-shade. And so it's doing pretty well. It just needs some maintenance. So you can see my work is actually cut out for me. So there we go again. There we go again. Okay, this is what is happening. Whole heap of weed, whole heap of work. Boy, I need about 5 days just in the garden doing nothing else to help to bring it back. So this is just sharing a section of it, the garden at the front, and I am hoping to do some work in it so that I can rehabilitate it. And of course, I want you to be on the journey with me. I need my nipper. I think I need to go and get my nipper so that I can start. Look, wow, this one is such a beauty. Wow, 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 that's a beautiful surprise. I'm so happy for that one. My Dendrobium thriciflorum. So it's really getting into a big plant here. See? So this area is really such a mess. Wow. I've purchased these because these are what I'm going to be using now to stay my Vandas, because I find that these will last longer when compared to the metal and stuff like that. The others keep rotting quite easily, and I just can't be bothered. You have to be restaking, so I'm going to be using those. So of course a lot of spent blooms. What's happening like this? Man, such a beauty. Such a beauty. So I'm gonna start really by removing the dry blooms, the stalks. And of course we have a lot of weeds. Okay. Seemed like while I wasn't here we had some heavy wind. So I went over here and I literally saw a slug on the plants. Look at that. So of course it is so important to really walk out your garden and observe what is happening. Very important. A lovely bloom here. I'm not sure for how long this has been on the side, but I'm gonna take you up closer to see exactly what's happening right here. And of course our little friend. So I'm taking you closer. Such a beautiful one, and it was down. Everything was down on top of it. But I'm sure it will come back. Well, I'm hoping that the sun will not affect it now that I have turned it back up. Okay. Under the almond tree, it's messy, messy, messy. Needs to be raked up. I just watered under here. Let me see what's going on around here. Okay, this mackay is in bloom. That was in bloom before I left, so I still came back and caught a few of it. So this one, I've lost most of this. So this is all that's left on this one. Ouch, wow. Oh dear. This has been falling apart, so I'm gonna have to take this down. That's my staghorn fern. So apparently one of the metal that holds it up is broken, so it's now on the side. Let me go around, you see. So as you see, it is on the side. So I'm gonna have to get somebody to help me to take this down because it's really a heavy plant. And to fix it up properly so that it don't fall. on top of what is below it. So mess, and more mess. But of course, you know, it will all come back with just a little extra muscles. I didn't show you here. I have a few dendrobiums that I planted underneath the Italian cypress trees. Let me show you. See if I can get a full view of what is happening there. So right under it, I've placed a few dendrobium orchids in clay pots. And on the other side too, I have some bromeliads. They're not fully established, but I'm sure eventually they will. So this area just needs a little more playing up and cleaning up. So that's what is happening in the garden right now. To the front, that is. I have not taken you to the back so you see what is happening, but there are some other things happening that I will share with you as I go along. I know some persons have been asking me, you know, what's really happening in the garden. They wanted to see what's happening. So today I show you what's really happening in the garden. And I hope you like what you see, and I just hope that you will stick around and watch as I get back my garden to its former glory. And so, if you enjoyed this video, why don't you give me a thumbs up, and so you never miss another one of my YouTube videos. Please subscribe to my channel so that once I post a video, you will be among the first to actually get the notification. And as we say in Jamaica, just follow back at me. This is the Orchid Doc, and I am sharing with you just what is happening right now in my garden.